All right, welcome to the second to last update of my Mets Realm Out of the Park Baseball 25 theme team. This is an important update because, we've got developments. And if you remember the last time I updated, I was in the hunt for a playoff spot and I was off to a pretty good start. So let's see how well we did here. Also, good thing to mention that I've got some new screens all set up for this one, so it'll be better viewing for my YouTube videos for these updates from now on. So let's get right to it. So, also, just to mention, you see I have 66 packs on the screen, but I'm not going to be opening them. I'm waiting for a Mets card to be a new Mets card to be released before I crack open those packs. So those might be sitting there for a while if it's something until there's a card that I'm trying to pull. So just letting you know. So before I reveal my standings, like I do before, I talk about my stats, and then you can sort of guess as the viewer how well I did. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about our pitching. So this is my pitching, and this is a new screen that I got set up, my rotation. Let's get right to that. So this is my rotation, my season results. I've got Frank Viola with 15 wins, Ojeda with 15 wins, Ron Darling with 16 wins, Quintana with 9 wins, and Mania with 11. And this is, pretty good. A lot better than I thought I would have with these pitchers. I wasn't quite sure in the beginning of the season, but they really turned it around. So let's start with Frank Viola. We're going to go back to the other view. I don't have a good single player view at the moment, so we're just going to go like this with our last 5 starts, and maybe we'll go to the one we've been looking at. So Frank Viola, last time we finished, I think we were finishing June, and we were headed into July for the All-Star team, All-Star game. And Frank Viola, let's see how he did since June. He started with a 4.09 ERA in June, and he finished with 3.89. Finished pretty good with some, he had one bad start in August, but then he finished strong with 1 earned run, 2 earned runs, 4 earned runs was a down start, but then he went a 2-3-2 right here. So that's a pretty good ending to the season, and I wasn't quite sure about him at some points in the season, but his line is actually pretty good. He had a few horrible ones, but he's generally been pretty good. A lot better than I thought. So let's go back to the pitching, and where are we going? All right, so back to our starters, and let's look at Bobby Ojeda. So if you can see on this little icon up here, that means that he was an all-star. So he was one of my all-stars this season. I'm very happy about that because I counted on him to be an all-star. And let's go to the pitching stats. So this was an interesting one because he kind of had a really big rough patch in July that made me very worried. At the end of July, actually, no, end of July, July 26th, he gave up 4 earned runs and 5, and then beginning of August, then 6, and went on only 3 innings, and I was very concerned about that when gave up those earned runs. I was like, oh, this is going to be a problem. But then look at how he finished the season. 1 earned run, 2 complete game shutout. That was amazing. Another 0, and then 1, 2, 3, and then had 1 bad start in the middle. near the end with 5, but then finished strong with 2. So with 2 and then 3. So that's not bad, not bad. And so 15 wins, can't complain. Can't complain. So that's Bobby Ojeda. And then let's go and take a look at Ron Darling. Now, oh yeah, on Bobby Ojeda, he's in the second slot now because he was an all-star, so I had to move him out of the top spot because of the rest issue for the all-star game. So he should be, that I just had to make that quick thing, but he should be, he's going to be a top starter moving forward anyway. So it was just a swap for the all-star game. All right, let's go to Ron Darling. 4.91 ERA, 16 wins. How did his season go? This one was interesting. So let's go to pitching. So he had a roller coaster ride in July. Gave up. He was at a 4.92 ERA beginning in July, and then 5 earned runs on July 14th, got him to 4.95. Then he rattled off 4 good starts, 1, 2, 0, and then 2. Then a real bad one for 7 earned runs, and that ballooned his ERA back up to 4.65. Then he got 1 and 2, and then another 7. That got his ERA to 4.83, and then a 2 and a 1, and then another 6 earned run start, 4.81, and then he finished with a 1 earned run, 5 earned runs, and 4 earned runs. So not the most consistent, either really good or really bad. Not a whole lot of in-betweens. So yeah, I don't know what to think about this. Ron Darling might have to be moved. He was my 3rd starter, but he might be moved down going forward. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's go back to our pitching, and Jose Quintana, 3.75 ERA, 9 wins, 8 losses. Let's see what he did. So Jose Quintana, since July, he started with a 5 ERA in July. And now he is, where is he? What was that? He had 3 earned runs, 1, 0, 1. He had a 4 earned run game in August, and then 2, 0, 2, then a 4 in end of August, which isn't horrible. Then 0, 1, 2, 1, 1, and then a really bad start to end the season with 7 earned runs to make his ERA go from 3.5 to 3.75. But but going from 5 ERA to 3.50, and then just having 1 bad start to end the season, very impressive. Quintana definitely outperformed my expectations, and I might have to move him up in Ron Darling's place as the 3rd starter. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. So now let's look at Mania. I wasn't sure what to think of him this season, but 11 wins, 8 losses, 4.40 ERA. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at him. Okay. And pitching stats. So in July, he had 3 earned runs. He went from 3, then 5, then 0, then 5, then 0, then 3, 3, 2, 5, then 1, 0, then 4, 7 earned runs, and 3 earned runs. Yeah, a big mixed bag. You know, he was like even more inconsistent than Ron Darling. Like, his best starts were not as good as Ron Darling, but his worst starts were kind of as bad as Ron Darling. So we're going to. He's probably on the hot seat for having his rotation spot taken out and experimenting with somebody else on that 5th spot. But for now, it's he's going to be in the 5th spot, and Mania is going to be in the 5th spot, and I'm going to move Quintana to the 3rd spot moving forward. And let's see how that goes. And then, so why don't we do that right now? Quintana in the 3rd spot. All right, and then let's go to our pen. Here's another new view for my team. All right. Oh, you can't see the ERA. Let me adjust that. 1 second. All right, adjusted that. So should be a little bit better. All right, so the pen. Let's go to our closer, Roger McDowell. He's got a 3.50 ERA over 69 innings. Not that bad. Let's see how he ended his season. Kind of shaky, to be honest. Gave up 2 earned runs his last 2 outings. Actually, he gave up 1 run in his last. He gave 4 earned runs in his last 6 outings, which is not great. Finished with 2 losses and a blown save in his last 6. So, not great to end the season. And what else? He put up a lot of zeros, a few ones in September 3rd and August 31st, and then another one in August 22nd. Yeah. And then he had a rough patch here in mid-July, July 1st, July 19th, July 28th, and August 9th. So that's a bunch of earned runs in the span of 4 outings. So in that 4th spot, and those 4 outings. So that's not a good spot right there. And then, at the end of June, he gave up 3 earned runs. And so he was generally not terrible in the second half until the end of the season. So I'm a little concerned moving forward. I'm a little concerned now. So we'll see. And he's starting to become unreliable in when you want to rely on him. So still ended up with a 3.50 ERA, which isn't bad, but I would have liked him to finish a much stronger season. So it is what it is. Let's go back to the pen. And then we got Brooks Raley, finished with a 4.66 ERA, which isn't great. And let's see what he did. He generally, here is where he had his rough patches in mid-July. He started off July with a 4.84 ERA. Actually, let's see, he started putting up zeros on May 31st, and then he gave up 1 earned run in mid-July. No, he gave up, hold on, I'm on the wrong column here. 1 earned run in June 22nd, to get his ERA to 5.40, and then he gave up 5 on July 14th, and that was gave him a 5.59 ERA, and then he went and gave up an earned run beginning of August, and then had 3 bad outings, August 7th, 9th, and 16th, 1 earned run, 2 earned runs, and another 2. Then he kind of, had a bunch of zeros, and then gave it 1, then a bunch of zeros, and 1, 0, then 1, and then closed out the season with another. Actually, I was on the right one before. Yeah. So, yeah, but I'm still correct. So, he actually got his ERA down to 4.66. So, he's on the right track, I should say. Like, he's not he's not doing great, but he's not doing terrible either. And I'll say he's doing about almost as good as McDowell. And I could probably slot him in to the closer spot if I had to. So let's go back to the pen. And then we got Ottavino, who's been on my most watched stink list. And he is not doing too great. 5.29 ERA. Let's see. Beginning of July, he started with a 6.26 ERA. And then gave up a run on July 9th. And then he had 2 bad outings on August 4th and 8th. And then the 16th. Gave up 5 in 4 outings. And then 4 appearances, I should say. And then September 11th, 13th, and 19th, he had another string of bad outings. So it seems like his bad outings come in bunches. So that's not too great. And then he finished the season putting up zeros. So he did, go from July with a 6.26 to a 5.29. So he's technically, he technically had a better second half than first half, but I'm still not sure if I should trust him. But he is who we have, so we got to deal with him. Now let's go to, Jesse Orosco with a 4.25 ERA. So here we go. And here's an interesting line of... So from the beginning of July, he started with a 4.26 ERA. Then he had 2 bad outings, the 14th and 16th, making his ERA go to 4.40. Then he gave up 3 on August 4th to go to 4.73. Then he put up a bunch more zeros until September 3rd when he gave up 2. Then got his ERA to 4.20. Then he gave up a run in, September 14th. And then 2 straight earned run, giving appearances, 2 one earned run appearances in September 26th and September 29th, and then a 0 and gave up an earned run in the beginning of October. So he finished the season with a 4.25 ERA. Not bad. Not terrible. His line isn't terrible, if I'm being completely fair here. So, and I think he started the season with a bad one. Let me make sure. No. Yeah, so he's definitely serviceable. He just, his ERA, he pitched a little bit better than it looks, I should say. And then we got Danny Frisella with a 3.86 ERA. And let's see what he was at the beginning of July. At the beginning of July, 3.38 ERA. And gave up an earned run July 14th. Here's where he went wrong. August 4th, he went from he gave up 5 earned runs. He went from a 3.08 ERA to a 3.99 ERA. So that really ballooned his ERA up. And then he had 2 good appearances and another earned run in August 14th, and then another earned run August 18th, and then 2 earned runs August 27th. So that his ERA is now at 4.15. And then another 2 September 13th, and then 1 earned run September 23rd, and then he finished the season with 6 zeros to go and finish the season with a 3.86 under 4. I would say his line is actually a lot better than it appears. This is why you got to look at the game logs to see where they went wrong. And so he had that earned run, that 5 earned run appearance that ballooned his ERA. And so you got to take that into account when looking at this stuff. So, yeah, he's not as bad. He's actually probably a little bit better than his ERA is. So, not too down on Danny Frisella. He did a pretty good job. All right, let's go to the bullpen again. And we got Pulsifer as my long reliever with a 3.80 ERA. Long reliever, don't ask a whole lot for him just to keep us in games. And yeah, let's see, a lot of 3-run appearances. He didn't give up more than 3 earned runs. Yeah, didn't give up more than 3 earned runs all season. So can't complain about Pulsifer 3.80. I'm not going to go through a game by game because long relievers are sort of judged a little bit differently. But yeah, so I'll say he did better than Doc Gooden did in our first season. So at least he did better than him. So let's go back and take a look at our next. Turk Wendell, 2.45 ERA as a specialist, a right-hand specialist. And so let's take a look at him. Pretty impressive. All right, so he started the month of July with a 0.94 ERA. Then he gave up a earned run on July 16th to go to 1.10. And then he gave up 3 earned runs. August 3rd, 1.89 ERA, and then put up a bunch of zeros in a row until September 7th, when he gave up an earned run to go to 1.67, and then he went from a 1.65 ERA ballooning to a 2.47 ERA on September 13th, where he gave up 4 earned runs. So, there's another case where I had one really bad outing that ballooned his ERA. So you gotta take that into account. And then zeros until September 28th. Then he gave up 2 earned runs on October 1st. And so then 3 zeros, and then he finished with a 2.45 ERA. So I would say he pitched a little bit better than even his ERA shows. So good job by Turk Wendell. And oh yeah, he was also an all-star. So congratulations to Turk Wendell. Deserved it too. Was pretty good. Had a pretty good season. I'm impressed. I wasn't sure what to expect from him, but he's really shaped up to be a good specialist for my team. All right, now we go to Jake Diekman. Interesting card here with a lot of stuff on the versus lefties. So we've got, let's see, where was he in July? He started July with his first appearance on July 14th when he gave up a run to bring his ERA to 2.43. So he had a pretty good first half. Then he had 3 bad outings and 4 appearances. July 27th gave up 2, August 3rd gave up 3, put up a 0, and then gave up 3 again. On August 9th, that put his ERA up to 4.19. So that's what that many bad appearances will do to you with the bat, give you a bad ERA like that. So not good. And then August 30th, gave up 2 earned runs, 4.19 ERA, and then put up another 3 spot and on September 28th, and that was a 4.43 ERA, and so he closed the season with a 4.23 ERA. So not as good as Wendell by any means, but serviceable as a specialist. I'm not ready to dump him. I'm not, because I don't know who I would put in his spot, but it's he'll probably keep his job for next season, so we'll see. So that's my pitching staff. So I just went through my pitching, and now let's go to our hitting. We'll go to our hitting, and then all right, I got a new view for the hitting as well, particularly the lineups. So if you want to see my lineups, here we go. So I'll have another view for the depth chart and the stats in a second. But I close the season. I'll give you my lineups versus right-handing. It was Marte, McEwing, Howard Johnson versus right-hand DH. Marte and right, McEwing on short, Howard Johnson third, Alonso DH, McNeil second, Dom Smith first, Harrison Bader left, and Francisco Alvarez catcher, and Peyton center field batting ninth. Then lefty versus lefty, Marte and right, McEwing third, McNeil second, Pete Alonso DH in fourth, Jay Payton in fifth, in center, Cranepool at first base for the platoon with Dom Smith, and then in seventh, Francisco Alvarez for catcher, and then Bader on the left and Reyes in shortstop. So those were my lineups to end the season. I don't remember if I had put Cranepool in the platoon spot before the end of the season. And I think I may have had Marte on the bench. It's possible. So I moved him in. I think, on the last video. So that's with him. And then, so let's go to our, so this is just a peek at the right-handed, you can see the depth chart right there of my versus right-handed and the backups. I had Dyer as my ninth inning defensive replacement. And you can't see the pinch hitters, but I have Cranepool. I'll just go there real quick. Over here, I have Cranepool, Cedeno, and Reyes as my pinch hitters, and then pinch runners, Cedeno, Reyes, and then I had Bader left over from. Yeah, I had Bader left over for some reason because I did not have. Maybe Bader was a replacement that I had taken out since the last video. But in any case, let me go back to the lineup screen here so you can see that. And then the versus lefty DH. Not a whole lot different. Yeah, Reyes instead of McEwing, and McEwing at third instead of Howard Johnson. So that's that. And then let's go to our stats at the top. I can't fit all the stats in a readable position at the top, so you'll have to forgive me. I moved the screen so you can see all the main stats. Now I should say that we'll organize it by homers this time. Pete Alonso led the league in homers with 45 home runs, and he had 126 RBIs and a 265 average, so not bad. All right, and then Howard Johnson, 32 homers with 98 RBIs and a 267 average. Yeah, I should say if you want to read the other stats that I'm not reading, you can just pause it and go full screen. I decided not to put, stolen bases and all that other stuff on the screen, so I'll just read the big ones for you, the big numbers. All right, so Howard Johnson, also an all-star right here. So that's nice. All right. So now Peyton, 20 homers, 59 RBIs, and a 293 average. Not bad. I should say Pete Alonso had 19 stolen bases, 7 caught stealing. Howard Johnson had 18 stolen bases, 8 caught. Peyton had 10 stolen bases, 12 caught. So Dom Smith had 18 homers, 75 RBIs, and a 288 average. Alvarez had 15 homers, 15 homers, 57 RBIs, and a 251 average. Then McEwing had 14 homers, 76 RBIs, and 302 average. And Harrison Bader had 9 homers, which is more than I expected. 63 RBIs and 262 average, 21 stolen bases, and 11 caught. Starling Marte, interesting one right here. He had 8 homers, 61 RBIs, 287 average, and 34 stolen bases and 17 caught. McNeil had 7 homers, 72 RBIs, and 15 stolen bases. Batted, did I say 284? Yeah, so. And Duffy Dyer, my 9th inning replacement for Alvarez, had 3 homers, 24 RBIs, and 268 average. And then Ed Cranepool, 265 average and 1 homer, 23 RBIs. But important to note that he was more of a platoon, so he was a lefty platoon, and he had a 274 average against lefties, so that's important to note there. And Cedeno had 0 homers, 14 RBIs, and 263 average. So yeah, he kind of had a big drop off. I don't know about the future of Cedeno, but he did have 18 stolen bases. I don't know about the future of Cedeno on the team because he just stopped hitting for some reason. Wait, did I have him in my lineup? I'm trying to remember. No, I didn't. I had taken him out. Yeah, so yeah, he kind of stopped hitting. Let me just see what his lefty righty stats were. Versus lefties 214 versus righties 279. So I don't know. Maybe we could try him again if we have to in a platoon situation. I think I know what I did. I had Cedeno in there in left, and I put Bader as his replacement. Yeah, that's what I did. So, and then Jose Reyes, he had a 279 average, which is pretty good, a lot better than I expected. And 0 homers, 33 RBIs, 26 stolen bases, and 5 caught. And his versus lefty average was 315, which is what I was playing him mostly. So, kind of impressed. And so, yeah, that's all my guys. Yeah, so Alonso was the other all-star, by the way. Alonso, right there. Howard Johnson, Alonso, Ojeda, and Turk Wendell were my 4 all-stars this season. Actually, was Jay Payton my all-star? He was an all-star as well. Was Turk Wendell my all-star this year? I'm trying to remember. If he... No, he was last year, not this year. Confused. So, yeah. All right, so pretty much I showed you all my lineups, and now we go to the main screen. And I reveal my record. So, after seeing all my stats, I should say, because my screens are now improved, what do you think my record was? I want you to take a guess, pause the video, and then I'll reveal it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 96 wins and 66 losses. How amazing is this? My Mets theme team is 96 wins. Impressive. Completely outpaced my expectations this early. Especially playing all these teams that have all these other great players on them. So so I finished the season 6th in runs, 6th in average, 8th in homers, 3rd in ERA, 7th in Ks, and 12th in defensive efficiency. So let's go look at the standings and see how well we did, really. So my Mets team here is 9.5 in first place, and the 2 people behind me in the division are the wild cards. So the only negative thing, I should say, let's put it in the relegation standings that by sub league. The only negative thing is that this Tacoma Rainiers team has 97 wins, and so they have the home field advantage in the playoffs if we end up going up against them. So that's not great. And so, yeah, I would have liked to have gotten that top spot. And then on the other side, St. Petersburg Hermitages have 105 wins, and Detroit Tigers have 97 wins. So, yeah, we have the fourth best record in the league. You can see right here. We're definitely moving up next season, which is good. And in postseason, let me show you the postseason playoff tree. We are here, and we play the winner of Tannen, Seekadeer, and Seattle Big Dumpers. So let's see what our preview for that series is. So I should say we finished kind of bad at the end of the season. We lost quite a few games in the last stretch that could have given us that extra bump I wanted. But the, let's see, is this team Tannen, Seekadeer? Yeah. So in September, we started the month where we were about 6.5 in first. And then the Tannen team that I just showed you, which was behind us in the standings, we've played them 4 straight times, and we did a 4-game sweep, and so we solidified our lead for the division, which made me very, very happy, of course, and not panic. And so we kind of held that down for the rest of the season. But then we kind of had this rough patch right here, especially right here. So anyway, going back to the postseason, let me check our record against these two teams. So I think we go to reports and logs, team stats. Reports, team stats. Where do we? I know there's a view where I can see the. Where is this? Roster management info. There is a view that shows me my record against the teams. I want to say maybe it's here. Team stats shows my record in the months, but that's not what I'm looking for. I was 14-11 in September, 14-14 in August. July, I was 17-7. So my home record was 52-29, and my road record was 44-37. Reports. Where is it? I don't know where it is, but I feel like maybe it's in the standings. Team versus team. Here we are. So we are the Brooklyn So Brooklyn. So we are going up against this team. Either this team. We were 5-2 against the Seattle Big Dumpers. And TSC Tannen Sikadir, we were 10-9. So we had a pretty good record against both. A good record against both of them. I don't know which one I prefer, but whatever. So now that I've revealed that we're going to the playoffs, let's cut our team down to cut our rotation to 4 pitchers. And so I didn't want to reveal it earlier, but Quintana will be our 3rd starter. We're going to swap Ojeda with Viola. And so it will be Ojeda, Viola, Quintana, Darling, and then we're going to move Mania right here. Can't see him. You can just see him at the bottom right there. But, yeah. So, yeah, he will be long reliever. Avoid high leverage, emergency starter. There we go. And we're going to be in a 4-man rotation for the playoffs. So this is what it's going to look like. Ojeda, Viola, Quintana, Ron Darling. And then Sean Mania and Pulsifer as my long relievers. So, yep, that's pretty much it for this update. And let's see. Let's go back to the front screen. I want to thank you for watching my update for my Mets theme team for Out of the Park Baseball 25. Definitely outperformed my expectations in the season. Yeah, so let's see how well my team does in the playoffs. Hopefully we get out of there with the big trophy and head to bronze with that trophy in hand as a Mets theme team, which would be amazing. So, yeah, I also forgot to change my stadium at the beginning of the season, but we're going to stick with what we got now because we're allowed to change it in between, either before the season or in between the season and the playoffs. But we're just going to go with what got us to this place in the first place. So we'll be sticking with our default stadium at least until the off season, and then we'll decide then. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed my update video, would love it if you gave me a like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. I also do other playthroughs and such. I also write a newsletter for free. It's more of like a digest format, most of what I do there. One is going to be coming out pretty soon. I give my playthrough schedule, I do small reviews, and I give my game hype rankings list, which is sort of like a measurement of how I feel about games that are coming out. You can check that out to see what I mean about that. And then it also has a shortcast attached to it that is sporadic, but it does come out from time to time with like very short audio things. So you can check that out over there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching my update video for season 2025. And hopefully we win that big trophy. Have a nice day.